When you come to the cloud offerings, why do you need cloud offerings? The organization will process, manage, move, protect. Next comes is the investment cost categories like new hardware required. What are these cloud analytics? What we are going to do with this is hello students, welcome to the next session of cloud computing and big data analytics. I am Dr. Soumyashri from Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram College. In this session, I am going to explain about the offerings given by the cloud computing. Let's check what are the different offerings that are offered by the cloud computing providers. All right. So the topics that we are going to cover in this concept is, one is the introduction to the offerings, then information storage, retrieval, archive and protection. Along with that, we have cloud analytics, testing environment under cloud, how to implement the information security, the virtual desktop infrastructure and the storage cloud. Now, when you come to the cloud offerings, why do you need cloud offerings? Is we have today information coming through every channel. We have all the channels which pour the data into the cloud environment. If I am talking about cloud, okay, we can collect all those datas. It is being authored by billions of people. Almost 40 to 50% population of the world may be using different cloud services which gets data from billions of people, and it is flowing from different devices. There are no limited devices. You can have innumerable number of devices that store the data into the cloud. All right. You can have sensors, not only just the digital devices that we use. Along with that, sensors, cameras, survival cameras, drones, satellites, every device, electronic device collects the data and send it to the cloud environment. And the instrumented objects, it is nothing but any electronic device which is connected to cloud through the internet. All right. With 80% of new data growth. Now today data is growing enormously. Okay. And unstructured content will be poured into the cloud. You don't have any particular structure. How does data is going to pour? Some data may be simply the text. Some may be music files. Some may be normal two-dimensional images. Some may be three-dimensional images. Some may be videos. Some may be a graph, or some data may be the analytical graphs or analytical reports. Some may be medical reports like scannings, other things we have the X-ray reports, scannings, blood reports. All those will be stored as the data in the cloud. Okay. To medical records, to email keystrokes, whatever you do, like we have something done on the keyboard, or we have given audio, video, everything will be considered as a data. But the thing is, it is an unstructured form of data. What is the challenge of the cloud providers or cloud service is trying to pull it all together. How to store these data so that you can easily extract them and perform the analytics on the cloud data, or the data stored in the cloud. So you have to make, if you are a cloud service provider, what is your intention will be to store the data together, whatever may be the form of the data, but you have to store it together and make it useful for further processing. If it is not of use, there is no need of storing the data, is it not? So, the main intention of the cloud is not only to store the data, but also making it available for next processing. So, the cloud offering gives you an insight how the task of these things will be done. Okay, until now, organizations could not synthesize and interpret all the information, whatever information will be poured into the normal server, that is the local server. The organization was not capable of synthesizing and interpreting all the data that has been coming to its way. That means they had made decision based mainly on instinct. Oh, this data may belong to this category. This data may belong to another category. They have assumed in themselves and they have categorized the data, but may not be the proper form of storing the data. But now we have a software that can capture, organize and process. It can capture, organize as well. It can process all the data scattered throughout the organization. If it is a private cloud, you will be having again different kinds of data. You need to capture, store, organize as well as process all kinds of data. You cannot say that this data is not in a particular form, I am not going to process it or I am not going to store it. You have to do everything. All these processes must be taken care even though you are not knowing what form of data it is. If it is a new form of data, say if it is any medical record and it is new to the organization or enterprise, you cannot say that I can't hold that data. You have to store and analyze that data. You have to send it to some expert for analysis. All these things, internet medical field is growing, where everything reports will be sent to somebody else. They will analyze the reports and predict the medical history. What is the disease the person or the patient is going on? What are the medications he can have? What are the treatments he can have? Everything will be done through internet. That means data which is not in normal form must also be accepted and must be processed. Okay, this enables organization to make better business decisions. The software that we use, which helps in all these things, will even help you to take better business decisions. Business analytical softwares are there which analyzes the situation, gives you a suggestion of what is the better thing you can do in the present or the current situation. Alright, here we have the consultant, where you can use the consultant to take some decision based on some graphs and charts. Software is nothing but using some artificial intelligence concept or normal decision making concept, so that it will help the entrepreneurs to make some critical business decisions. Okay. The next thing is, you have to know about how does the information storage will be done in the cloud. When it's stored, how does the retrieval takes place, how it is stored in the archive, and once it is stored in the archive, how to protect the data. Alright, the organization will process, manage, move, protect and archive. All these things will be done by the organization or the enterprise, like processing the data, managing the data, moving the data from one location to another, archiving it. Archiving is nothing but storing in a permanent storage. Okay, moving it, protecting it and archiving it for future use. Okay, what it is going to store is different business data will be stored and archived, where the organization of the data will be done based on age. based on what is the age. Like if you want to take the reports of senior citizens, if it is a hospital medical data, you may want to retrieve the data based on age, or you may store the data based on the age, based on usage, how frequently the data are being used. Based on that also, you can collect the or store the data. Based on certain patterns, depending on certain patterns, compliance, how does they are used, and archiving policies. There will be archiving policies that will be followed in this. Security and disaster protection. Security is how does you have to secure those data, how much critical are those data, based on that. And the disaster protection rules, whether they are critical data. If they are critical data, what are the rules to be followed to store those data? That must be taken care. And certain values based on how, like what I said, critical and non-critical, whether it is a critical data or non-critical data. How to store critical type of data and non-critical type of data. All these things, all these informations will be taken care while storing, retrieving, archiving as well as protecting the data. For this information storage and other process, we make use of the information lifecycle management, which will be useful in knowing how to perform these operations or these processes in the cloud data. Like first will be planning, next comes is the collection, creation, receipt and capture of the data, next is organizing of the data, then use and dissemination. When data are no more of usage, you can delete from the archive, maintenance, protection as well as preservation for future processing, disposition. One day some of the data may become obsolete, no need of storing it, or copy of same thing may have stored somewhere else, or it may have updated. So you can disposition or can change or move the data from one position to another, and you may evaluate it. All those things will be included in the information lifecycle management. Okay, so this is records and information lifecycle management. How you are going to do these things. Okay, like storing, retrieving, archiving as well as protecting the data. All right. What are the objectives of the information lifecycle management? Why do we use this information lifecycle management? Is one thing is cost reduction. It helps in reducing the cost, controlling demand for storage by suggesting alternative storage things. Then you can reduce the hardware and software cost, maintenance cost. All those things can be reduced by following the iLearn cycle. Then better system performance. If you have better approach, if you have predetermined steps in storing and managing the data, the performance of the system will be better and productivity will be more. Personal productivity will be more, like doing the storage activities in a right manner. You will be knowing what are the steps that has been followed till now. What is the next step I have to do? If I am a new person or new employee in that enterprise, I will know what is the next step to be followed if I am following the information management cycle. Okay. Then increased effectiveness. Effectiveness of all the operations in the cloud will be more when you follow the iLearn cycle when compared to the vague method of storing and retrieving the data. Next, increased effectiveness suggests you to do the right storage activities. This is both the things will help in doing the storage organizing of the data or storing of the data in a better manner. Another objective that you can discuss is, it is a way to generate, enhance and sustain higher savings. Cost reduction, other things. Along with that, it is a way to generate, enhance and sustain the savings. Okay, how does it helps? Activities for gaining initial saving. Initial cost can be reduced when using the information lifecycle management. Okay, it reduces the amount of used storage as a result of initial cleanup, because sometimes the data may be repeatedly stored in the same location, which takes much more memory than the usual we need. If we need 1 terabytes of memory space to store my data, if I repeatedly store the same data in the memory, it will take extra memory space, isn't it? So this process will help in reducing the amount of used storage. You'll know what are the steps that has been followed, whether it is repeated or not. There is a redundant data that is stored in the memory space or not. So you can clear the memory and you can clear the cache or other memories that are used to store the repeated or redundant data. That can be avoided by using the ILM. Then activities for maximizing saving. Storage will be optimally used in case of the use of ILM. Reconfigure the current storage. So we can reconfigure the current storage environment effectively for increasing the available storage space. So when you delete unnecessary data and you perform a proper organization of the data, you can improve the memory space that is available, maximizing the saving. Next is activities for sustaining savings. It will help in the activities for sustaining savings, that is developing the storage architecture governance model. How to control the pouring of the data and organization of the data can be made easy by using the ILM. Alright. Next is to know about the cost that happens by offering different cloud services. So when you offer different cloud services, there will be operating costs that will be incurred on the cloud. One thing is personal operating cost, like storing the data, getting the space, storing the supporting files. All those things will come under personal operational cost. Facilities like hardware facility you have taken, extra backups you have taken, extra components you have obtained, supporting files you have taken, software supporting files. All those things comes under facilities. Or else you can have the carpet area that you have used for your office. All those things will come under facilities, network facilities. And storage hardware maintenance, you have to maintain the hardware that are used to store the data. That comes under the operational cost, that is maintaining the hardware. When it is obsolete, when one hardware becomes obsolete, taking new hardware, which comes under investment cost. Current, maintaining the current hardware. Along with that, storage software maintenance. You need various softwares for storing, retrieving and managing the data. You have to maintain the softwares. Maintenance comes under, maintenance means upgrading and updating time to time to the new versions of the software. So that also comes under operational cost. Outages is extra expenses that incurred, which are unplanned or suddenly it has been incurred on the cloud. So that will be another operational cost. Next comes is the investment cost categories like new hardware required. If you have to add new hardwares for your current cloud facility, or hardware is already there, you have to change it. It has become obsolete. It is no use of now. Now we have to change the hardware component. New software required. The software that we are using is not of use now. We have to upgrade the software or buy the another kind of software which is better than what we are currently using. Hardware refresh. Time to time you have to refurbish or refresh the hardware that we are using. You have to upgrade to the new versions of the hardware, like new version of processors and maybe servers, server upgradation. All those things are adding extra space component, memory component to the server. All these things will be hardware refresh. Transition services is when you are moving one data from one server component, one hardware to another hardware component. All those things will be incurring the investment cost. And in transition services, we have from migrating from current environment to the new environment. There is a improvement in the environment that we are using for the upgrade, or we have to upgrade the environment that we are currently using in our cloud. That also takes certain amount which comes under the investment cost category. All right. The information management points will get into these objectives like data, information, ILM, information taxonomy, information classes, value-driven data placement, storage process, storage service, and enterprise class of service. Some points we need in information management points are these, like data, what kind of data we are storing, information, like data is structured data, information is unstructured data which is not categorized. It is just have come to the cloud, which is the information. You have to manage all those things. We have to manage the ILM, policies, standards, and objectives of the enterprise. All these things must have to be considered while doing the information management. Information taxonomy, you have to recognize what kind of data it is. Taxonomy is nothing but giving a name to the type of data. Okay. Information taxonomy must be done. That means none of the data must be kept as a unnamed data. What kind of category, to what category the data belongs. You have to give a nomenclature, you have to make a nomenclature to the thing, and what kind of data we are storing, where we are storing. All these structure of the data will be defined under the information taxonomy. Then we have information classes, to what kind of classes the information belongs to. Then value driven data placement, how much it is critical, where it has to be stored, that must be managed in the information management. Storage process, how do you process the data and how to store that in a memory. Then storage service, along with storing in the data, you have to give the service to the storage. Whenever the customer or the client needs that data, it has to maintain its current state and it has to be given back or replied back to the customer or to the client. Next is enterprise class of service. When you are using a private cloud, the normal form of data, along with that you have to give a proper format of data. Data must be provided in a particular format according to the enterprise it is requesting. Next comes is the cloud analytics. Okay, what are these cloud analytics? What we are going to do with this is, the cloud analytics is the new offering made by the cloud in the new era of cloud computing. What does this analytics will do? The analytics is analyzing the data that is stored in the cloud. Okay, this will help in consulting domain and will ensure the better results. Analysis is analyzing the result that is stored. Analysis of the data that is stored in the cloud. Okay, it provides user with better forecasting. It will give you a forecasting technique to view the future. You can predict the future based on the analytical result. Okay, there will be certain algorithms that will be run on a particular data which gives you the analysis of that data. What you can do is you can create a consulting domain. That means anyone who needs a suggestion or having similar kind of problem can refer to this analytical process, which helps as a consulting domain. Through the consulting domain or through the cloud analytics, you can have a forecast of what will happen if I take this decision. Suppose you are an entrepreneur and you need to make a decision based on some of the meetings or some results that are obtained. Without any help, it will be difficult to decide. In such a case, what you can do is, you can take the help of the cloud analytics, which gives you a forecasting technique to analyze and optimize the service lines. You can analyze and optimize the service line and provides a higher level of accuracy on decision making. It helps you in making the decision. Like you'll be having traffic analytics, analyzing the traffic, social sentiment analytics based on what the result has been drawn by the client, like accessing a web page or accessing a shopping site by the social media. What does the social media cloud analytic will do is, it will analyze your sentiment, in what item you are interested. So analytics will be done. Network data analytics, data that is pouring through or passing through the network will be analyzed. Okay, millions of events will be having. It will be analyzed. Then text analytics, analyzing the normal text that has come to the enterprise. Then video analytics, analyzing the videos, what it meant, all those things which help in crime solving. Then location analytics, analyzing where that person is, what he is going to do, where he can move. All those analytical processing can be done using the cloud analytics. Okay, here we have the analytics keyboard, dashboard, which contains age of content, what is the age with this years, location, share point, all these things will be drawn using the analytical processing. Like we have the analyzing blogger, which analyzes how much if this is a blog, how much times it has been accessed, how much time it has been used, what are the views, page views, how they are accessed today, yesterday, last month, last year. All these things will be analyzed using the cloud analytics tools. All right. These cloud analytics also helps to apply the analytics principle. How does the processing must be done and how does the result must be drawn, and best practices to analyze different business consequences. As I said, it helps in making the decision in the business and achieve new level of optimization, which helps in achieving another level of optimization. You can optly get a better result when compared to the cloud without any analysis. Okay. This can be combined with complex analytical process with improvised softwares and with lead towards the predictable business idea. Okay. Out of the business results or business insights. So looking at the business, how does from last 5 years, what was the percentage of profit, how much tax has been returned, filed in income tax, how much have been the income, what is the profit, all those things can be used to analyze the data and can have a predictable based on the decision that you have taken in last 5 years and what was the profit that was gained because of, or what was the result of the decision in last 5 years. If that decision is continued for the next year, same policies, what may be the percentage of profit in your business? All these things will be predicted using the analytical algorithms. All right. Then we have some of the cloud business analytics competencies. What does this will be is, these cloud analytical processing is supported by different competencies. What are the different competencies is, cloud business analytics strategy. You'll have a strategy that helps client analytics. Why do they help the client analytics is to get different types of modeling, which gets you different result. If you take this decision, what will be the result? If you take another decision, what will be the result? Like in a flow chart of programming, we'll have the charts, we'll have a graph which shows diagrammatic representation, which shows if this result is taken, what may be the, if this decision is taken, what will be the result? What is the percentage of profit in the business? All those things can have using the business analytics strategy. Okay, modeling technique, that is what type of model must be used to have a better result. Deep computing, deeply processing the data, and using the simulation techniques. We'll use the simulation techniques for certain engineering fields and other things, so that to check different types of what if analysis to the performance increasing. So it contributes in increasing the performance in the business by taking the predictions. It will predict. Analytics not only gives you the result, it also helps in prediction. What is based on the revenue, product revenue, service revenue, other kinds of revenue, what is the meter is showing, whether it is medium, low or high. Based on that, what is the average sales, what is the average item manufactured, sales, who are the best sale managers, and what was the revenue of this year or month or quarterly report. All these things can be obtained using the cloud business analytics. Okay. Along with that, you can have the business management and performance management. What does this competency will do is, it helps in increasing the performance. How does it increases the performance is by providing accurate and on-time data reporting. If you get proper data at proper time, you can make better decisions in the business. So this cloud analytical algorithms will help you in performing a better business management and a better performance. All right. Next we have the enterprise information management. What is the enterprise information management will do is, it lets the user, what does the user will do is, to apply different architecture pattern. Why do we need different architecture pattern is, for data extraction from the cloud, for archiving the data in a proper location, retrieving it, moving and integrating different forms of data. For all those things, we can use the enterprise information management. All right, like we have these things: input, create, digitize, classify, convert. All those facilities will be provided. Along with that, there is a management of content also. What does this content management will do in analytics? Okay, It includes different service architecture. It includes the service architecture. What is the help of service architecture in the cloud analytics is it will have the process related to capturing, storing, preserving, protecting, delivering and managing the data. What may be the kind of data? You have to do all these process, isn't it? Storing, preserving, delivering, managing, everything must be done. What kind of data it may be. Along with that, the content management also provides access in the global environment. Wherever you go, you can access the same content from America as well and from Australia. Or maybe if internet is available, you may access it even from Mars. So from wherever you can access the data. Okay, global environment and make it easy to share the data with stakeholders. What are the stakeholders is who are responsible for all these management of the data. Stakeholders is who are your teammates or who are responsible for this data management across the globe. You may be working in an enterprise whose one branch is in USA, another is in Europe, another is in Middle Asia, another is in India. You can share and manage the data with the global stakeholders. Somebody sitting in the same data can be accessed by somebody who is sitting in the USA or somebody who is sitting in the Middle Asia or somebody sitting in Japan or somebody who is sitting in South America, wherever he may be, the person, he can access the data. One thing we need to ensure is the data that has been accessed is only by the authorized users. Okay, we'll have the content management and enterprise information management. These are the competencies that are provided by the different offerings of the cloud. That is, in that we have one important offering, that is cloud analytics. So cloud analytics are the set of algorithms which help in not only storing the data, but analytics helps in managing the data and analyzing the data and giving the better result to the user. Okay, all these things will help in better performance of the cloud service. In the next session, we'll continue with the different offerings given by the cloud and some more thing about the cloud analytics. All right, thank you.